Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Shamin Arif and I am a student of Rehan College as a facilitator.
Hey there, I'm ready to help with whatever you need. What's on your mind today?
Hello ChatGPT. Today my topic is how to identify and avoid toxic positivity. So let's start conversation.
That, of course. So, toxic positivity is when someone is overly focused on just being positive, dismissing or ignoring real emotions. To identify it, look for situations where people are told things like, just stay positive without space for processing the real struggles. To avoid it, it's important to validate feelings, let people express their difficulties, and balance hope with reality.
How is toxic positivity different from healthy positivity?
Great question. Healthy positivity is about being optimistic while still acknowledging challenges and allowing space for real emotions. It's more like, I see this as tough, but I believe we can find a way through. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, is dismissive. It pressures people to ignore or suppress their pain in favor of forced happiness. So it's all about balance and respect for the full emotional spectrum.
Why is toxic positivity harmful?
Yeah, it definitely can. When we insist on only positive thinking, it can make people feel ashamed or isolated for having real struggles. It might prevent them from seeking help or expressing themselves authentically. So it's really important to let people know their feelings are valid and we can still have hope while being honest about the tough stuff.
What are some examples of toxic positivity in daily life?
Yeah, definitely. So, for example, if someone is grieving a loss and they hear, just look on the bright side, or everything happens for a reason, that dismisses their pain. Or if a person says they're anxious and they're told, just stay positive, it'll all work out, it might invalidate their real distress. So, it's those kind of blanket, overly cheerful responses that can be harmful.
How can we identify toxic positivity in ourselves?
That's a really important reflection. One way is to notice if you catch yourself brushing off other people's emotions or if you feel uncomfortable when others share their struggles. Ask yourself, am I giving space for the real feelings? If not, it's okay. Fix it with positivity.
Why do people use toxic positivity?
I really appreciate you asking that. I try to be mindful about it. I think I lean toward healthy positivity. Like, I aim to validate how you're feeling and still be hopeful when it fits. But if I ever miss that balance, I really want you to call me out so we can keep it authentic.
Can toxic positivity affect mental health? How?
Yeah, it really can. When people feel pressured to stay positive all the time, they might suppress their real emotions, which can lead to increased anxiety, loneliness, or even depression. So, by allowing ourselves and others space to fully feel what we feel, we actually support better mental health in the long run.
How does toxic positivity impact relationships?
Yeah, that's a great point. Toxic positivity can really damage relationships too, because if one person is always trying to fix or brighten things, the other person might feel unheard or dismissed. Healthy communication means letting both people express their struggles and their progress without pressure to always be fine.
What are the signs of toxic positivity?
Exactly, yeah. And I think the key is just being mindful. When we catch ourselves doing it, we can pause, validate, and create space for the full range of human emotions. That balance really helps build trust and deeper connections.
How can toxic positivity prevent emotional healing?
Yeah, exactly. If we don't allow ourselves or others to fully process pain, we can get stuck, and we might never reach that deeper emotional healing. So, by being honest and allowing those tough feelings, we create the best conditions for real recovery and growth.
How can we support someone without ignoring their feeling?
That's a great question. The key is to listen actively without jumping to solutions or silver linings. You can say things like, I'm here for you, or it's okay to feel this way. Check in regularly and let them know their emotions are valid. That kind of compassionate presence really makes a difference.
Why is it important to accept negative emotions?
Absolutely. It really is. Negative emotions are just as valid as positive ones. They're part of being human. When we accept them, we actually create space to understand them, process them, and ultimately move forward in a healthier way.
How can school teach student about emotional awareness?
Yeah, that's a really valuable topic to teach. You can explain that emotional awareness means recognizing and naming what you're feeling, understanding why it's coming up, and knowing that all emotions are okay. Then practice healthy ways to express them, like talking to a trusted person or using creative outlets. That builds a strong foundation for mental well being.
How can parents avoid practice toxic positivity with their children?
Exactly. Right, exactly. So it's not about avoiding positivity altogether, it's just about balancing it. You can have hope, you can seek joy, but you also allow room for sadness, fear, or frustration. That balance is what makes positivity truly healthy.
How does toxic positivity affect workplace environment?
Yeah, it definitely can. A little positivity can boost morale, foster teamwork, and keep people motivated. But if it's forced or overly simplistic, it can backfire. People might feel pressure to hide stress, or they might not feel seen. So, balanced, genuine positivity with room for honesty really helps create a healthier work environment.
What is emotional?
Real and important without judgment or trying to immediately fix them. So, it might sound like, I can see this is really hard for you, or it makes sense that you feel this way. By doing that, you help them feel heard and accepted, which is really supportive for their emotional well being.
How can we practice healthy positivity?
Absolutely. You can practice healthy ability. Focus on gratitude, but balance it with honesty. It's about letting yourself feel the full spectrum and choosing optimism alongside realism. And remember, it's a skill, it takes practice.
What is the role of empathy in avoiding toxic positivity?
Yeah, empathy is really central. When we practice empathy, we put ourselves in someone else's shoes and we try to understand their experience without rushing to a positive fix. That helps us stay present, validate their emotions, and avoid brushing off their pain. So, empathy keeps the whole interaction grounded and real.
How can listening help reduce toxic positivity?
Listening is huge because it shows that you care about the other person's full experience. When you really listen, without jumping to advice or quick fixes, you give them space to feel heard and validated. That prevents you from defaulting to those shallow and just be positive responses, and it keeps the focus on genuine connection.
Why is important to allow people to express sadness or anger?
Yeah, it's to express sadness or anger. It actually helps them process and move through those feelings. If we shut them down, it can lead to bottled up stress or even more intense emotional issues later. So giving them that space is really healing.
What are same example of supportive communication?
Yeah, great question. Supportive communication might sound like, I'm really glad you shared that with me, or I can see this is really hard and I'm here to listen. You might also say, take your time, there's no rush, or your feelings are completely valid. It's all about being non judgmental, present, and showing care through those words.
How can we respond when someone is struggling emotionally?
Yeah, a good approach is to keep it calm and open. You can say something like, I'm really sorry you're going through this, I'm here for you, or ask, would you like to talk about it, or would you prefer some quiet time? And then just listen without rushing to solve it. That kind of gentle presence can mean a lot.
How can we create a safe space for open conversation?
Yeah, creating a safe space really starts with trust and consistency. You can keep your tone calm, avoid interrupting, and show curiosity by asking open ended questions. Let them know that whatever they share is okay and that you won't judge them. Over time, that helps people feel safe to be vulnerable.
Why should we avoid judging other emotions?
Yeah, because when we judge someone's emotions, it can make them feel misunderstood or even ashamed of what they're feeling. Everyone's emotional experience is real to them, so by avoiding judgment, we create space for them to be authentic, build trust, and feel accepted as they are.
How can safe awareness help reduce toxic positivity?
Yeah, absolutely. When we're aware of our own emotions and the impact of our words, we can catch ourselves before we default to shallow positivity. That self awareness lets us stay present, validate feelings, and choose words that truly support rather than minimize what someone is going through.
What step can individual take to avoid toxic positivity in daily life?
Yeah, definitely. One thing individuals can do is pause before offering advice or reassurance and instead just check in, like, how are you feeling right now? They can also practice naming their own emotions openly so they get more comfortable with a full emotional range. And they can remind themselves that it's okay to sit with discomfort.
Thank you.